Hello and welcome to another Halloween special with the Turpmeister, baby. Right, the last one, Podolsky Totes, was an obscure hit to say the least. Hope you, if you watched it, let me know and stuff what you think. However, today are two colossal films in my life. Well, the original George A. Romero, Dawn of the Dead, and the remake of Dawn of the Dead from 2004. Right, to say Dawn of the Dead got me into horror films would be a lie, because the original Evil Dead got me into horror films. And you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, how old are you? I'm 31 and I've been watching horror films since I was about 6 or 7. Yes, it's questionable on my parents' part, but I just always loved them. That and Grease, apparently, John Travolta, summer loving, yeah. So yeah, my main thing apparently was horror films and greased up Italians singing to a blonde girl. So yeah, okay. Anyway, right. As you're a kid, you got your action. You're very, action films, G.I. Joe, stuff like that. Dawn of the Dead, the original, George A. Romero, is not an action flick. Despite what people tell you, it is not an action flick. I put it in the category of survival horror. No, that's games. It's basically a survivalist film, and it was new to me. The film is on for about 2 hours and 40 minutes, I think. And believe me, it feels like it's on for 2 hours and 40 minutes. Usually that's kind of like a really bad thing to say about a film. It's like, what? But no, you're gripped. You're gripped from the moment that you meet these characters. It's got Ken motherfucking Voorhees in it from Keenan and Kel, believe it or not, as playing their dad Roger, if you remember that. He's technically in both, but he's a main character in Dawn of the Dead, the original one. And yeah, I love him. Roger, Keenan and Kel. Now, but he does a bang up job in this as well. He's good, really good actor. Also, he's in the Rob Zombie films quite a lot as well, especially the Devil's Rejects. So both films all revolve around they find a shopping mall, right, and it's just basically about surviving. And then you see kind of like best way to put it, it's like the flaws and the pros in humanity, and they're both they're both capture it perfectly. Now, Dawn of the Dead, George A. Romero's masterpiece in my opinion. So it revolves around two cops and a guy they call Flyboy, just because he has a helicopter, and his wife, who's I'm pretty sure is a news reporter. Well, she works at the news, but you don't know much from that. They all kind of feel like they've got some sort of authority. Obviously, the two cops. The Flyboy is most likely a helicopter pilot that does for the news, and they fly around like high speed chases and stuff. It's never really said, but you kind of get the picture. So yeah, so they get in a helicopter and they stop for fuel. There's still zombies about, and then they fly off again, and then they're like, we need fuel again. They see a shopping mall just right over there, 2 miles down the road. Yeah, they see a shopping mall and they land, right, we need fuel. So they fuel up. Then they think, hang on a minute, we're at a shopping mall. There's like a dozen, probably like 2 dozen zombies in this shopping mall. And they have the idea of, you know what, let's just stay here and survive. And then, so for like 30-45 minutes, that is kind of what happens. It is just them clearing out the shopping mall of zombies. Basically, they make a makeshift room that basically is cut off, and like, unless you know it's there, you wouldn't know it's there, basically. So no zombies would ever find it. Yeah, they do that. Shows them surviving and that, and then they decided to block, because the more zombies are coming to the shopping mall, and there is like a little theme that goes from like both films. Basically, they're like, why are they coming here? And they're kind of like saying that maybe that's the last bit of humanity they have left. They go to a shopping mall because we love shopping. That's kind of like the the hidden agenda here from George A. Romero. But anyway, yeah. So while securing down the shopping mall even more, due to the fact that there's more zombies coming, the one cop gets bitten, and it's quite sad because he's a good character. The thing is with him, the only problem is with this guy is he kind of loses it a little bit. He takes risks where there's not, and like when he gets bitten, it's kind of like bit of like not really foreshadowing, but it's just like, yeah, who didn't see that one kind of coming? That's the only part. Like, I don't understand why. Maybe the film needed to be a bit longer, and I know a lot of people say no, but to develop his character a little bit more. Like Ken Forhey, the other cop, he's great. He's a great character. He's just normal, He just wants to survive. He doesn't give a fuck. He just wants to survive. But like Flyby and his girlfriend, obviously they're a couple, when they're having like their disagreements and stuff. And then you got the other cop, and he just acts really irrational for like no reason. Anyway, he gets bit, he turns, it's quite sad. Then time moves on, and then without saying, like, obviously the end's coming up, basically raiders come, right? This is the part where it gets a little bit cheesy, because like in Night of the Living Dead, the first one, there's like a redneck agenda to the end of the film especially. I'm not going to go into it, but so like rednecks, and then in this one it's like raiders, and I just kind of just don't believe that would happen. Like, maybe because I'm not American, you know what I mean? But in England, I can't see that happening. I always see it in, especially like survival horror games, but they have to do it because to make enemies, basically, to fight against, to develop the story. But I really do think when push comes to shove, I can't see, humanity just turn, a select group of people going raiding. I just can't see. Maybe the mentally deranged, or prisoners, maybe like really high, because basically you just want to survive, and these raiders are just idiots. Like they raid them all, they let all the zombies in, and most of them die. It's just like, well, what the fuck did you expect? That's the only part of this film that I just don't like. I know why it happened, because they needed a little bit of action, I suppose, because it is a very slow film, but I love every minute of this film. I just find that part just a bit like, okay. So yeah, the raiders come in, they die and go off, but the mall's overrun. Flyby gets killed, the girl's boyfriend, the helicopter pilot, he gets killed as well. He turns into a zombie. Probably the best zombie in the whole film, because if you don't know who Tom Savini is, he's a special effects artist, one of the frigging best, god tier special effects, practical effects as well. And he goes on paper saying that like he hated the special effects in this film, as in the zombie special effects. So if you look at it now, he's very dated. I can't remember it like properly, but he brought this like space grey or so. I really can't. That's Warhammer paint. No, I can't remember, but basically he brought this paint to put on for human effect, and it just wasn't working. It didn't work, and I didn't have the budget to buy anymore. So the zombies look great. Like I know like dead people look great, but I mean like they look super grey. You'll know when you watch it. It is quite a bit like what the hell, and the blood is orange. But you look past it, it's a great film. And then with all that happening, Ken Forhey and the girl, they're like, we need to get the shit, we need to hit the Dodge base, so let's get out of here. So they take the helicopters and go away, and that's the end of the film, right? You kind of get the picture, or you kind of get the feeling that regardless of the raiders coming in and the zombies overrun the mall, you kind of get the feeling that the group, the three of them that are left, they want to move on. Like, the couple is not getting on. She's pregnant. And you kind of, like, the humanity takes over. Because, like, trust me, I know everyone, they're being locked in. You've been locked down to one area. Your instincts start taking over. You just want out. And your body can't handle it. And that's just natural. That is just natural. You people do it in jobs. Any type of thing where they feel pressured down. We want to escape. That's just humanity for you. Anyway, that is the original Dawn of the Dead. Got me probably into survival horror. It's in my top 10 best films of all time, which will be coming up probably next year. I might do it on my birthday. Or if I get 1 million subscribers within 2 months, yes. But fantastic film. If it's just a chilled night, maybe on like a Sunday night, I wouldn't say Saturday because, you know, that's for like action horror. Like, you just want a chilled night, put this film on, you won't regret it, especially if you like zombie, if you like Walking Dead and stuff like that, put it on. Anyway, right, now fast forward all the way to 2004. It is Dawn of the Dead, the remake, and I was shitting myself over this film because basically I'm 15, by the way, at this point, but I love the original Dawn of the Dead that much and I've seen what remakes was doing, what was done to films, and it was just like, it's going to be bad. It's going to be so bad I'm going to cry. Look, I just don't want it made. Do not release it. Managed to watch it. Yeah, I'll probably hands down, right, I'm not going to say it's like number one, but it is up there with one of the best remakes to a film you will ever see. Not only does it bring the original cast back, only for like 10 seconds, but it's just a nice little homage that I just like that anyway. But the film, it's a lot, you know, where I said that Dawn of the Dead, the original, is slow paced. This is the absolute opposite. This is like 3 lines of coke and drinking about 6 WKD blues and just rocking out. And that is Dawn of the Dead 2004 for you. That's it. Boom, boom. Nah. It starts off, you're following a nurse, and shit's happening around it. Like, she's in the hospital, people are getting brought in, and this guy got brought in with a bite wound, and she's like, well, I can't find him. Where is he? Basically, he got moved to ICU, which is like intensive care unit. And she's like, what? From a bite? Anyway, just little things for the first 10 minutes of the film are just happening around her. And she's been like, I think she was on like a 13-hour shift. So she don't care. She gets in her car. She's popping the radio, and there's news reports saying about it, but she just pops on, have a nice day. Have a nice day. Who's Stereophonics? Yeah, remember them, Jesus. Anyway, so yeah, her and her boyfriend have a nice night. You know what I'm saying. And don't watch the news. Lock themselves away from the world. All good times, and then, I'm not going to spoil it, but like, shit hits the fan, and she's like one of the smartest protagonists you'll ever see. So her husband or boyfriend, I don't really think you ever know. I presume it's her boyfriend because of later on. He turns, this little girl in the neighborhood. He awakens, and he's like, and she's there like standing at the bottom of the bed, like in the doorway, and he's just like, hey, I can't remember, Vivian, I think it was. I just watched it. Yeah, it's Vivian. He's like, oh my god, what's happened to you? Because she's like, her face is ripped off, and she bites him. The main protagonist, she's like, trying to save her boyfriend, and then like he turns, and then like she knows that basically her survivor instincts come in, the flight or fight response. Yeah. So she's like, oh no. So she runs to the bathroom, but just before running to the bathroom, this is something I would do because I'm very particular due to my anxiety and stuff. Like, obviously, details like a million times stronger than anyone else in the world. Nah, but she like car keys, bang, ching, runs out. Yeah, so she drives off. Somebody tries to get in her car, and she drives down the thing, and she crashes, and that's the beginning of the film. He's like, whoa, okay. This has me excited when I first watched it. I was like, damn, that is one hell of an opening to a film I have ever seen. Even Lord of the Rings, nah. Lord of the Rings will always beat. But anyway. Yeah, so basically the start, she meets up with the group. There's another cop guy, and he's played by Ving Rhames. I always forget his name, but he plays Marcellus Wallace in Pulp Fiction. I fucking love this guy. I've always loved this guy. He's a brute of a guy. He speaks awesome like a brute. He's just some guy that you will not want to fuck with because he will fuck you up. And I really love him. He's in is it Mission Impossible as well? He plays the IT. Is it the IT guy? No, that's Simon Pegg. I don't know. He's in the Spy with Tom Cruise. I can't remember what he did, but he's in that. And anyway, so they meet up with another group, and they're saying like basically, everywhere's fucked. That's it. Everywhere's just messed up. And then like they see like a shopping mall, and they're like, you know what? There's like nobody. Like, there's barely any zombies around or anything. Look, let's get in there. So they do. So that's realistically, zombies and shopping mall is the only two things that really connects these two films, because they are so different, and that's what makes them so great. That's what I'm talking about. And right now, this is why you need to watch them. In this universe, 2004 remake, the zombies are fast, mostly very closely related to reminiscent of the 28 Days Later rage virus. Very, very similar. However, in this, I do not think that it's blood transfusion. So it's not passed on by blood, because several times there's blood on the characters and stuff like on the people, and it gets on them and like they don't turn. I think it's solely the bite. That is what we are led to believe, especially from the nurse, the main protagonist, who's a nurse. It's the bite, so it's saliva, so it's like rage virus, like rabies, basically. So it's more like a realistic. In the original Dawn of the Dead, not in Living Dead, to be fair, if you want a spoiler, it's a hidden spoiler, but the virus is from a crashed satellite from outer space. There you go, in case you never knew that. In this one, you just don't know. You don't know where it's come from. If I had to hazard a guess, it's most likely like lab made, due to the reason how it's contagious, like spread like just so quickly and stuff like that. It like no normal. I'm saying this as like COVID-19, but even that isn't very. What's the word, like transfused? No, like spread out and stuff. You know, like yes, it's a serious matter and stuff, but like this pandemic, you want to call it, happens like boom, and then like people are just changing. They change. This is the other thing. It's always the same with zombie films. Okay. Zombie films, zombie series, or zombies in general, right? That it's not consistent. The only consistent film that I've ever watched is 28 Days Later, where the change is just the same time for everyone. Yes, I know it depends on where the bite is. Like, for instance, anyway, yeah, I'll come back to that when I explain it a little bit further on. So they get in the mall. There's mall cops there. They're a bit of dicks. So they start kind of working together, but the mall cops are being dicks and locks them down and stuff. So there's a bit of point of authority there between the two groups. And then there's a van that comes, and it's driven by a lady, and she's driving around and around the shopping mall looking for like an entrance basically, and the zombies are there's slowly, gradually more zombies coming towards the shopping mall. Not so many at this point, and and then at this point they're discussing on the roof, the mall cops and the group of survivors that we are following, and they go a step too far. The mall cops. And they get overthrown and they get locked up, and then they help the next group come in. So the group's even bigger, and it's great, right? Then there's a big woman, to say that's being nice. There's a big woman in a wheelbarrow, and she doesn't look very good, put it that way. And she's been bitten on the arm, I believe. I know I just watched it, but like I want to say arm. She looks like she's been infected for quite a long time. She doesn't look good. Like all her veins are showing. It's all like a blackish blue. Anyway, so the nurse checks up on her, and she checks up on another guy, and he's been bitten on the hand, and he has a daughter, and so she's checking up on them. Then the big woman, she passes away. And then she comes back alive as a zombie, and she can run. That's the only running she's done in about 52 years. And the nurse kills her, basically. And then the nurse starts kind of slowly, like, basically observing that she's pretty positive that it's the bites that is causing this. And the guy that's the dad guy, who's got bitten on the hand, they say like blah blah blah, and they explain it, and yes, he does turn, he gets shot in the head, and then boom, it's just it doesn't give you a time period to say, I'm forgetting two people, right? There's another guy who's like a gangster, kind of like like a gang member, and he's like girlfriend and wife, and she's like heavily pregnant. But when they get into the mall and they retake the mall, basically, well, not retake, they clear out like one or two zombies. She gets bitten. And this is where it falters for me, this point. She's been bitten like quite early on in this, and then once that guy, the dad, gets changes into a zombie, it kind of basically a montage of them just like adapting to being in the shopping mall and doing what they want. Like some people, there's like a really obnoxious twat, right, who's like a posh guy who does nothing, and like he's videotaping him banging this girl. It's just like a montage of just, you don't really get the a time frame of what's passed. I couldn't imagine it being too long due to the pregnancy. Anyway, the gangster, he has basically tied his girlfriend wife to the bed. And then like, because she's gone the same as that big woman did, she's got like a very odd colour, like her veins and stuff like that, and like he ties her down, and like she gives birth. This other woman comes to check on him, and she panics, she shoots the girlfriend. He goes nuts, he shoots her, she shoots him back, there's a baby. It's a hard scene when everybody comes in, and like the old woman, she's like an old sort. She saved like quite a few of them, and she dies. And and then like they kind of see what's happened, and then they had a look at the baby, and yes, the baby is a zombie. It is hard. It's a bit of a hard like, oof. Damn, like the nurse does it. The nurse kills the baby. You don't see, but obviously it's you hear the gunshots, so you get in the image that what's happened. So that happens, and then there's also a guy in a gun shop about, I can't remember, it's not very far, so it's just basically say like about 2 blocks away, but they can see using binoculars, and he befriends the sheriff guy, Ving Rhames, and like they have a good friendship, and it's awesome. It is an awesome friendship. You kind of like, even though you never meet this guy, he's Andy, by the way, this gun shop guy, you never properly like meet him. You just see him hold boards up saying hello and chess moves and stuff like that. you just get the idea that he's pretty awesome. He's also an awesome shot. Like they're doing like a sniper rifle game where they're choosing zombies that look like celebrities. It's quite fun. So, yeah, he then basically, again, like in the original, humanity kind of takes over. I kind of find it harder to believe. Oh, well, it's two things, to be fair. They don't discuss it. I think they should have actually had about a 2-minute discussion in the film of them discussing what they wanted to do. Because that Andy guy that I just said is starving, so they want to get food to him. So that's an idea. But all of a sudden, the whole group's like, I don't want to die here. I don't want to live here anymore. Let's go get on a boat that dickhead, basically, that obnoxious twat, owns on the marina. It's like, realistically, why? Why would you even do that from like a survival point? Why would you do that? However, like that's what I'm thinking at this point, right? This is a long film, but these are just great movies. That's what I'm thinking at this point. However, it's only when you because I probably should have shown it a bit more. It's only when they try and get food to Andy that you see, actually, you know what? A shitload of zombies have turned up here. Oh, basically, there's thousands at this point, and it's like, okay, maybe if they showed like the glass of the shopping mall, obviously it's shatterproof glass, so it's not going to break. But maybe a bit too much pressure on from the zombies would make you feel uneased. But they're just like, yeah, I don't want to die here. Let's go. And it's just a bit like, really? Anyway, getting food to Andy goes tits up. So, and they reinforce basically in that montage. But no, they do like another montage basically when they say like we want to go. So there's 2 like shuttle buses that they pimp my ride up with barbed wire and just reinforcements. It looks a bit like a Mad Max weapon. And the girl, that daughter, that father, like everyone's like really working their asses off. And there's her just spray painting stuff. It's quite funny. It is quite funny. It's just like, you're contributing very well. But, yeah, so they like basically the zombies get in because of trying to get the food to Andy. It goes tits up big time. So they have to leave. So they like throw propane tanks out and like basically make a path. The nurse woman also kind of has like when I was saying about, I don't think it was her husband at the beginning, probably just a boyfriend, is because she has a bit of a relationship with this other mainish protagonist guy that is like a TV salesman, but he's a good leader basically. He comes across very nice. Yeah, so they're like driving off. They're in these shuttle buses and they're driving off, blah blah blah. And then they get to the marina. A few more people die, and then the obnoxious twat dies. But the nurse shoots him because there's a little nice little joke in the film. If you watch it, she shoots him, and then like the zombies are all coming, and then again she runs off a little bit. Keys. He's got the boat keys. She runs back, grab the keys. But at this point, there's a lot of zombies coming. And the other protagonist that I was on about, kind of like her romantic involvement, he gets bit at this point. But you don't know until the end. But anyway, they make it to the marina. And he's like, I can't go. I've been bit. She's like, oh no, me. And like, basically, they go off in the boat, he stays, and then boom, to the head, and goes to black. Now that is where you want to finish the film, okay? My biggest gripe with this film, it's kind of like Last of Us 2, if you watch my playthrough of that, where it just basically self-kills itself. So, not like, you know, as like Marvel have them nice little trailer things at the end of the film that kind of like sets up like 10 seconds of something. Yeah, this has that, but it's actually a lot longer than 10 seconds. This is on for like 2 minutes, and at this point, I always cut the film off because it shows the group get to an island, and guess what? The island's just full of fucking zombies and kills them all. So it's kind of like a really shit ending. like the way that Last of Us 2 killed itself, this film killed itself. It's just so pointless. I was just happy with, it was pretty morbid. The main guy had to die because he got bitten. It was still morbid. Just leave it at that. But no. Basically, yeah, they all die. Long story short. But 2 great colossal films. Both have their good points, both have their bad points. But not really that bad points. They're just fantastic films. In what I love as well about in the remake, there is little nods to all the cast. Tom Savini's in it as a sheriff, and he's just basically telling people over the news how to kill the zombies, and he just plays Tom Savini basically. Love the guy. Ken Voorhees in it as well, and he's what they're called, like an evangelist, a church person basically. He's saying that basically, as you can read out there, when there's no more room left in hell, the dead will walk the earth. He's basically saying because same-sex marriage is happening, killing, just bad sex before wedlock, all of that. That's the reason the zombies are here. So he's in it. The other cop that in the first one, the one that I said that becomes very irrational, he's in it as a general. I didn't even know this until a few years ago, but he looks completely different. and any other little nods? No, I think that's about it. But yeah, both brilliant films. I can't believe I've been talking for about 40 minutes about these 2 films, but just go watch them. That's all I will say. Both, the original Dawn of the Dead gets a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Always. Anybody who says bad, it's one of them films that if anybody ever says anything bad about, I just jump at them like a pit bull. And I'd say the remake, I would say, is like an 8.5, 9. The only thing that I wish they could have done a little bit better is just more go into depth with like why they want to leave. Like, I don't believe for a second that, say if there's a group of 10 people, right? Psychology for you, baby. I don't believe for 1 second that, say, even 80%, like 8 people out of 10, yeah, that would be better. 8 out of 10 people would just be like, you know what? Yeah, I don't want to die here too. Let's reinforce 2 shuttle buses and go and meet 10,000 zombies and just die. Because that's basically what they did. I know it's like foreshadowing, but it's just like, I don't get it. Like, okay, just like explain why each one wanted to leave or something. But they just come up with it like that, and it's a bit like, you know what they didn't need to do? I think it would have worked better if, well, just for me personally, I know like a lot of people will overlook it and don't care, but they reinforced the shuttle buses just for if they wanted to get out, just as an emergency, because they didn't need to say, I want to leave, because they go to try and get food to Andy, and it goes tits up with the daughter of the one. She goes after this dog that they get. So yeah, it's just one giant mess. And coming back, that's when like the zombies overrun them all. So that's enough reason to leave. That is perfect. So just like, I don't know, just a little bit of a gripe there. But anyway, fantastic films. It's brilliant for Halloween. Turtmeister, signing off.